An Uncomfortable Bed by Guy de Maupassant. One autumn, I went to spend a few days with some friends in Picardy. My friends were fond of practical jokes. I do not care to know people who are not. When I arrived, they gave me a grand reception, which at once made me rather suspicious. They cheered loudly, embraced me, and made much of me, as if they expected to have great fun at my expense. I said to myself, "Look out, old ferret. They have something in store for you." During the dinner, the mirth was excessive, exaggerated, in fact. I thought, here are people who are really amused, too amused. There does not seem to be any reason for so much mirth. They must have planned some good joke. Surely, I am to be the victim of the joke. Attention! During the entire evening, everyone laughed in an exaggerated fashion. Just as a dog can smell whatever it is hunting, I could almost smell a practical joke in the air. But what was it? I was watchful, restless. I did not miss a single word, or a meaning, or a gesture. Everyone seemed to be a suspect. And I even looked distrustfully at the faces of the other guests. The hour struck for going to bed. The whole household came to accompany me to my room. Why? They called to me, "Good night." I entered my room, shut the door, and remained standing without moving a single step, holding the candle in my hand. I heard people laughing and whispering in the corridor. Without doubt, they were spying on me. I cast a glance round the walls, the furniture, the ceiling, the hangings, and the floor. I saw nothing to justify suspicion. I heard persons moving about outside my door. I had no doubt they were looking through the keyhole. An idea came into my head. My candle may suddenly go out and leave me in darkness. So, I went around the room and lighted all the candles that I could find. After that, I cast another glance around me without discovering anything. I moved with short steps, carefully examining the room. Nothing. I inspected every article one after the other. Still nothing. I went over to the window. The shutters, large wooden shutters, were open. I shut them with great care and then drew the curtains, enormous velvet curtains, and placed a chair in front of them, so as to have nothing to fear from outside. Then I sat down cautiously. The armchair was solid. I did not dare to get into the bed. However, the night was advancing, and I finally came to the conclusion that I was being foolish. I was certain that my friends were spying on me, waiting for the success of whatever joke they had prepared. But in that case, they must have been laughing their heads off at my terror. I could not let them have so much fun at my expense. I made up my mind to go to bed. But the bed was particularly suspicious looking. I pulled at the curtains. They seemed to be secure. All the same, there was danger. There must be. Perhaps I was going to receive a cold shower from overhead. Or perhaps, the moment I stretched myself out, I would find myself sinking to the floor with my mattress. I searched in my memory for all the practical jokes I had ever experienced, and I did not want to be caught. Ah, certainly not. Certainly not. Then I suddenly thought of a precaution which could ensure my safety. I caught hold of the side of the mattress carefully and very slowly drew it toward me. It came away, followed by the sheet and the rest of the bedclothes. I dragged all these objects into the very middle of the room, facing the door. There, at some distance from the bedstead that I could not trust, and the corner, which had filled me with such anxiety, I made my bed all over again, as well as I could. Then I extinguished all the candles, and groping my way to my newly made bed on the floor, I slipped under the bedclothes. For at least another hour, I remained awake, starting at the slightest sound. Everything seemed quiet in the house. I fell asleep. I must have been in a deep sleep for a long time. All of a sudden, I was awakened with a start by a heavy body tumbling down right on top of me. At the same time, I received on my face, my neck, and my chest a burning liquid which made me utter a howl of pain and a dreadful noise, as if a sideboard laden with plates and dishes had fallen down, almost deafened me. The weight that had fallen upon me was crushing me and preventing me from moving. I was getting smothered beneath it. I stretched out my hand to find out what was the nature of this object. I felt a face, a nose, and whiskers. With all my strength, I struck a blow at this face, but I immediately received a shower of slaps which made me jump straight out of the soaked sheets. The door of the room was open. I rushed into the corridor in my nightshirt. Oh heavens! It was broad daylight. The noise brought my friends hurrying to the spot. As I looked into the room with them, I found, lying on my improvised bed, a dismayed valet. While bringing me my morning cup of tea, he had tripped over the unexpected bed in the middle of the floor and fallen on his stomach, spilling my breakfast over my face. I had taken many precautions by closing the shutters and going to sleep in the middle of the room. But those very precautions had brought about the practical joke I had been trying to avoid. Oh, how they all laughed that day.